Hello and welcome to yet another interview with Horror Vision 2020 Safer at Home Edition. Today we have the honor and the privilege to be interviewing the Coleman Brothers, James and Vincent. These guys are genius, man. They have a great eye, they have great production design, and if you are a Halloween fan, you better be following them. Do the YouTube thing. Look at Halloween Inferno Part 1, Part 2. Check out and go help them out with their Indiegogo for Halloween Inferno Part 3, because these guys are going to be taking Hollywood by storm. You better get part of it. And that's what we're here for. Me and Tommy are here to bring you an interview, an intimate sit down with the two of them. Talk to them about what they are doing, what they plan on doing, what they want to do, and what we will be seeing from them in the future, including Halloween Inferno Part 3. So get ready for the interview, because we are about to rock it. I might be losing my mind in my garage with a green screen, but quarantine ain't stopping us. It's hot in here. Enjoy your day and enjoy this interview. Wow!
Oh, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Oh, yep. Now we can hear you guys. Are you guys
Hi.
twins?
No, we're a year apart.
Oh, so close enough. Your poor
Close
mom.
Irish twins. I'm James and that's Vince.
Hi, James. Hi, Vince. This is James up here, and I'm Tommy.
Oh, nice to meet you in person or in face.
Yes.
And
So-
welcome.
Go ahead. You can do the intro, Jim.
Oh,
Not
okay.
you, this-
Welcome to Horror Vision 2020 Safer at Home Edition. Where
Awesome. Today we're joined by
Everything.
James and Vince Coleman. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Got to watch your videos yesterday, the Halloween Infernos, part 1 and 2, right?
Yeah.
They're
those are
awesome.
great.
They were a blast. So I sent it along to a couple people, and with this interview, when we post it, we'll post the links underneath for you. Cool? So you hopefully get a whole bunch more views, because you guys did a stellar job.
well, they already got tons of views, man. Those things are so good. Like, you guys should be up in the running for a Halloween movie, man. That's like
That's exactly what they want. That's what he was telling me yesterday.
stellar, man.
That's kind of been the goal.
Yeah.
Growing up, that's what we were doing that as kids, and it's cool to say that our fan base really grew doing a Halloween movie, because we stopped doing them for so many years and focused on our own original content. And then knowing the new one was coming out and the 40-year anniversary, we were like, hey, let's do it, see what happens. Kind of took all those skills we learned and applied it to the only thing that we really cared about.
So how old were you guys when you started your filming or whatever?
So I'll tell you a fun story.
Okay, good.
As kids, we were always so people loved Batman and Superman and all that, and we were the weird kids that loved Michael Myers and horror movies. So every year we would ask our mom for a Michael Myers mask. We go to Party City and we would go there and go through the box and pick out the perfect mask, because back then they didn't have the nice ones. They had those blank white masks with orange hair that were awful looking. So we would find like the most accurate one we could and go home with it.
We kind of collected all the masks, like the Freddy Krueger, the Jason, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
All the icons, right?
Yeah. So let's just say we were kids that you might want to worry about.
My kind of guys.
Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
we had the Michael Myers mask, and our dad was in the Navy, and we found a Navy uniform in our basement in the crawl space that was just an all black outfit. So we're like, hey, that's kind of like the Michael Myers outfit. And then one day our friend's grandfather had an old camera, and we're like, we should make a movie. And then we spent we were like probably 10 and 11. And then we spent the rest of the night making a 3-hour Michael Myers movie of us getting killed in the basement with ketchup and fake knights, and ruining the floors with ketchup.
Yeah.
And and then it just went from there. We would make Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy, anything you could think of too. It wasn't just exclusive to that.
Yeah, we even did our Freddy versus Jason versus Michael Myers, like all three of them.
Oh, that's cool.
They're not good at all.
Oh no, they're not.
you guys should post them anyway if you haven't already.
Yeah, just for fun, just so the people can you can see how much you've progressed.
Yeah, if you go through our YouTube channel, you can. So actually, with like the advent of YouTube, when YouTube really started getting big, was right around the time we got into middle school, high school time, and we used to post our Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies or Jason and Michael Myers movies, and they would get hundreds of thousands of views, and they were awful, by the way, just absolutely terrible. But we were one of the first people to start doing that, so I think there was an excitement for that.
Yeah, that is so cool. So what are you guys working on now?
Well, we're trying to get the funding for Inferno Part 3. Inferno Part 1 and 2 were mostly out of pocket. A few donations from fans, but nothing substantial, just kind of enough to rent a few lights and maybe a few lenses for a few days.
Yeah,
but
we just love it. So it was like out of pocket.
Do you guys have an Indiegogo right now? Live?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll send me the link after this, and I'll post that. We'll post it too with your video, so that if anyone wants to donate, because they're awesome, and the third one's going to be just as awesome. So I want to see it.
Did you guys use a red? What camera did you guys use?
So we shot that on. So Part 1 was shot with the Ursa Mini Pro, and so was Part 2. But Part 2, we rented the Cook Prime, the vintage Cook Prime lenses, so we could get that old school 78 feel. Yeah, and then the rest were shot on the Sigma Primes.
Wow, that's awesome.
They look so great, man.
Yeah,
oh my
you got
God.
such depth in there. You can see the depth, and usually you don't see that in a lot of the digital movies. So you guys looked really nice.
Yeah, we also did that with the color grading too, like in the flashback scenes in Part 2 that were in 78. We really looked at the first movie and tried to get that like blue lighting feel, and then when it went into the 2018, we tried to copy their lighting scheme a little bit because it was like more tungsten looking lights and more realistic looking.
It's a lot warmer looking. The old movie is a lot colder, so you go from that bluish color. And that's another thing too, is our lighting guy Cody is amazing. He's really good at developing the look that I tell him to. So that's really helpful on set when you have a guy that understands what you want to see.
Yeah, we actually had 3 different. We own a video production business in Rochester, New York.
What's it called?
Coleman Brothers.
You guys have to start self-promoting.
I think it's called Coleman Brothers, right?
That is our weakest point. We just want to be the artists and advertising and promoting, and it's hard for us.
I know it's like that for me too, and a lot of people. But I've learned over the years, because I'm older, that you have to, and that's why I'm here helping you guys. So, what's the name of your company?
Coleman Films.
Coleman Films.
Yeah, so, really easy. Our last name.
The website is really nice. So, like, you guys put it together. You guys do a lot of different things. So, like, to me,
you got to look
good.
at it. Good.
Yeah, I checked it out.
We actually teamed up with 2 other video companies in Rochester to help us with the Inferno, just because we, utilize all of our talents. And
so to give out a quick shout out, our sound production, Sour Note Productions, and Zazu Pits are amazing. Nox Luna Media, absolutely incredible. They did all the art design, and like a lot of when he's looking through the files, all that kind of stuff, and like when the news report comes up on TV, they did all that kind of like art design and the graphic stuff like that. Also, one of the actors is part of that production, the one that played Lily Hawkins, the girl whose father is killed, that has a breakdown in the office. Yeah. So that was one of her first dramatic roles. She does a lot of acting alongside of. She does a lot of like haunt shows and haunted houses, and I guess like haunted hayride and stuff like that. So I knew she had the talent in her, and I was like, I want to give you the chance to do this. I want to see what you can bring to it. And she definitely knocked it out of the park, and I'm really happy with her performance. Also, Cody Dingfield and our visual effects artist, Michael Del Rosa, is amazing too. So I just want to make a mention of all that.
Did they make that mask, or was it a bought mask?
So that is a Trick or Treat Studios Halloween 2018 mask, and what he did was strip all the paint off of it, then melted half the face, burned the hair off, singed it, and like repainted everything to make it have that Infernal look.
Yeah, that's our idea. At the end of the movie of 2018, he's burning in the house, and you don't see what happens to Michael Myers. So we're like, oh, what if he kind of got burned a little bit but escaped?
It looks cool.
Good.
It adds something. It adds to it. It looks really good.
Yep.
Yeah, it's tough with Michael Myers too because you don't want to do too much because then he loses that, that blank face. If you burn it too much, it's not Michael Myers anymore, so it's like kind of tough. That was a challenge for him.
Yeah, it's a fine line where some fans absolutely love it. Some fans don't want to see Michael Myers like that. But as you see in part 1, he gets that new mask. And part 3 will take place him with the new mask. And then that's where it picks back up.
Even the fans that naysay, if you don't have any naysayers, you're doing something wrong. Because they're still going to come watch it, even if they said you shouldn't do that. They're going to watch your next one. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives them something to talk about, I think.
Yeah.
There you go. So you guys know Tom Malloy?
Yeah. Yep. So we've worked with Tom on a few different projects. Yeah, I'd say Tom is probably one of the most official actors we've worked with, and I don't know, he's cool. Tom's a cool guy. He's a good promoter.
Yeah, no, he's amazing.
Yeah, get behind him because he'll push you guys. Obviously, he did for this. He contacted right after he did his interview and said, "Hey, these guys would be great, and their movies are blowing up." So I'm like, "Sure, let's see." So
yeah, Tom's a solid dude. I'm glad to know him as a friend.
And he's got a great name.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys got a lot going on. What is quarantine like up in Rochester? Is it like the same? Like it's not New York City, so like you guys just killing time, like creating new things, new ideas.
Yeah, trying to stay busy.
You have the same face everyone has when we ask them that. Other than the smiling girls that are like, I got my wine.
Melissa Rose is great.
It's not New York City bad, but I mean we're kind of in the suburbs.
They're closing down parks and stuff like that. So I don't know, it's funny because as a video production person, we do a lot of our editing inside anyways, so it's not the biggest change. It's more so the mental factor knowing that I can't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I finished
I'm a
homebody, so that's it.
I'm a homebody usually because I can't go do stuff I want to go do it. So
exactly, it's that classic. I can't have.
We were just saying how I would love to go to a bar, but we don't usually go to bars.
I know, it would be nice. Yeah. Right before this, I went to that Beetle House, which is the Beetle, like the Tim Burton, like themed bar, and it was so fun. So like I was like, oh man. Because we were going to start horror nights there, remember? We're going to do horror industry nights. Because there's a lot of us in the horror industry. We get together a lot here. So when you guys come out, we'll have a little gathering or something.
Cool. Yeah,
you guys ever come out to LA?
Yeah, I was there a couple years ago for my friend's wedding. We actually went down to that, the Tim Burton.
The bar?
It's all Tim Burton from what I remember, right?
Beetle House. It's called Beetle House. Yeah. And they have one in New York, too. There's New York and LA, so there's one by you guys, probably.
Oh, okay, cool. But yeah, I mean, I was just there, and I don't know, we always say to ourselves, like, it's time to make the move and time to go somewhere else, but it's always that question of, we've developed a team here, we have people here now that we know that we can work with, and people that we trust that will, and I'm sure you guys know this with any small production, you always run into the risk of, will people show up? Do people actually want to be here? Like, can you get the commitment? And we know we have a good team. It's just, let's make it here first, big, and then move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
In today's market, you can do that from remotely from anywhere too. The way the film has changed. Yeah. We're from Michigan, and like Jeff Daniels, he lives in Michigan, and he still works and he does projects, and he has a production company in Michigan. I mean, you can do a lot from where you're at, especially with the quality that you guys produce.
A lot, especially New York is hot for television. A lot of TV stuff goes on there. There's like a lot more TV. But here is definitely more movies. The main thing to come out here is just so you can hit the meetings and see people face to face when we're allowed to, because that's when I'm raising money or when I'm doing something. People don't invest in the project as much as they invest in the person. They like you and they see you. That's it, because they're like, okay, I trust you. I'm going to do this. So that's always the best one. But now I guess with technology, you can do different things. But like if there's a party or something else, there's always
the whole networking. Yeah.
Sorry, my writing is going weird.
No, and like that's definitely something I agree with because you see a lot of these movies and you're wondering how did this ever get made? And it's like, yeah, they were probably drinking at a bar, and he's like, hey man, I got this cool idea. He's like, yeah, you know what? Let's do it.
Yeah, that's how I make all mine. No, but also there are other people that we could put you in touch with. I work with ITN Studios, and they actually finance small movies around the country. They call it a virtual studio, and they finance them for like 15 or 30 grand, and it's a buyout. So like you got to make the whole thing for that, and then hand it over, and you probably get a small percentage on the back end. And that's how he's cultivating new filmmakers.
That's cool.
Yeah.
ITN
distribution. But I can I'll talk to him about you too. But look him up. They have a free streaming service called Wash TV, Western Action Sci-Fi Horror TV,
awesome.
and it's free. So check it out. That's all their titles are on it.
Are they interested in like scripts and then they budget the movies?
Well, you have to do it from cradle to grave. Like they want to read the script, they think it's good, go ahead, make it, and then they'll give you the money to make it, and then that's it. But I think because of your business cards are definitely the Inferno movies. Those are good calling cards. That would be something that would make someone say, oh yeah, I would do this for these guys, because that's how good it is. And I don't sugarcoat it, you know what I mean? I'm not a nice person all the time. So like I tell you the way it is, like, but I really think you guys are going to do really well. Especially there's a lot of brothers do this. We're friends with, the Fro Bros, Jim?
Pierce Brothers.
Yeah, the Pierce Brothers.
I know them, yeah. Deadheads.
They're, we know a lot of people that have brothers that do it. Their dad worked on Evil Dead. So they actually got into the business, and they just sold their movie to IFC Midnight. It's called The Wretched. And they did another movie that's really fun called Deadheads. So,
yeah, it's a fun zombie movie.
Yeah, it was the zombie movie before all the zombies.
Is your guys' part 3? Is it going to be another short film, or you guys want to try to expand a little bit on that? Or is it going to be?
I think for what we asked, what we're trying to get for it, we're thinking like 30 minutes. We don't want it to really be like a full length because we want to kind of put them together.
Yeah.
And I feel like the full length thing kind of gets a little like dicey because if it's that good at that quality in full length, it's going to be really expensive.
Yeah, and then we see a lot of fan films that maybe are an hour long, and a lot of them just have a lot of padding that could be removed. It could be a 25-minute movie, but what we're trying to do with the Inferno series, and we know this as Halloween fans, and we know what the Halloween fans want to see. They don't want to see 30 minutes of character development for people they don't care about. They want to see cool Michael Myers moments, and they want to see atmosphere and mood, and that's what we're bringing to it. And we introduce the characters. We want to say, okay, here's what's going to happen. You get why and what their motivation is, but we don't want to spend too much time saying this needs to happen, that needs to happen, and then you're going to see their whole family life because in a fan film, nobody cares.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, the Inferno is very fast-paced, too. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's what I like about it, that there's no lull. It's really going. You can tell you guys are fans. And that's, as a diehard fan of horror, it's so refreshing seeing that because, a lot of filmmakers, they just do horror because it sells. And you can tell that the movie, they don't care about you. They don't know anything about horror. But you guys, you're going to go very far in the business. And horror will be here forever. So you're going to have work.
Like Horror Vision is new too. So like we're going to start blasting all these and like growing also as a community and a show. So like you guys are in the early processes of what we're doing. And, Tommy has a big following at Motor City Nightmares. And we're going to promote everybody within the horror and sci-fi world. So, this is going to be something awesome. It's going to grow along with you guys growing as filmmakers.
Yeah. So when all this blows over, you guys come out, we'll hang out. We'll go to you tell us what bar is good because I don't know my way around here.
Right now, the best bar is my house. Thank God Total Wine delivers. It's like a Bevmo, but with just a smorgasbord of nonsense. Did you both study film? I don't know if you already mentioned that, but you guys went to school.
I went to school for it, but
I did not.
I would say the biggest learning curve we had is we worked on a film called We Are Still Here. We were only like 20, 21 when we did that, and knowing what we had already made a couple feature films on our own and tons of shorts, but being on that set, we learned kind of how the gears work and how things run as a unit. Like, okay, you get your coverage shots, you have your A, B, and C shots, and this person does that and that person does that. Because growing up, it was always, our friends always helped us, but it was always, okay, we got to make sure we get the actors, we get this happening, that happening, that happening. But on a set, there's a team for that, there's a team for that, and everyone has a job, and that's what makes things run smoothly. And you can't expect to do everything.
That's the hardest part, is just wearing so many hats.
Of course.
Like
I get a phone call in the middle of all
part
that.
of our department film crew.
Yeah.
It's like,
You gotta talk a little louder, Vince. It's hard to hear you.
oh, okay. I said, yeah, that's the hard part of making these indie films, is wearing a lot of hats. And like, luckily with Inferno, we had a really good team come together, and it wasn't, just us doing mostly everything.
Right.
So yeah, a lot of talented people.
But even so, even with them, like, we're still our team is not big enough where we're still moving lights. We're still, moving the camera and everything else. And like, there's always things that we're involved in.
You will always do that because you're brought up, because you're going through the business this way. You're always going to do that, and it will show in your products, in your thing. So even when you get big and you have people that you're going to want to get hands in, just like Robert Rodriguez. He's like, get out of the way, give me that camera. You know what I mean? So I can see you guys doing that. It's cool.
Yeah,
it's cool,
definitely good to have. It's definitely good to have like your hand in everything a little bit, so you know a little bit about everything. So if something's totally bad, you can kind of be like, hey, hold on, that doesn't look good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, an understanding of everything. It is definitely a good thing because, like you said, you could see what doesn't work and what does work. And I think that's something we run into a lot around where we live is we've been humbled so many times that we can look at our own work objectively and say, yeah, that could have been done better or that sucks. Which is funny because our effects guy that works with us, he's also a producer on Inferno. Mike is very honest and very straightforward. And when we first met him, we showed him our movies. He's like, yeah, they're terrible. Like, we were like, how can you say that? Why are they terrible? Like, how can you think that? But, looking at it now, like, yeah, he's right. They are terrible. Like, of course they're terrible. We're only 20 years old.
Now we laugh it off, too. We kind of laugh at ourselves. We don't take ourselves too seriously. And then, like, later on, we're like, well, how could I improve? But we don't get too, serious about it.
That's how you guys keep moving forward and progressing. Because you accept that, you understand that.
Yeah,
That's
criticism is big for us. Like, when somebody says something,
Your
we
story,
try to improve that,
Yeah. You have thick skin. That's good. New
Your
York.
story is kind of very Spielbergish in the horror world. Like Spielberg when he was like 10 or 11.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What? Hold on. There's a lag here. Are you hearing me loud and clear?
Yep, we can hear you now.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, I was saying it's very Spielbergish, like your guys is, 10 or 11 years old making movies, even though his was like he was doing that whole thing with the war, like stepping on sticks to make bullets and stuff. And you guys are like 10 years old making films with ketchup and stuff. I mean,
awesome.
You guys have a knack for it and natural ability. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do.
You're going to go far. As soon as you get out here, people get their claws into you, you're going to be going. I'm serious. It's good.
Yeah, we hope so because we always say to ourselves, like, we've been killing ourselves for so long and our film knowledge is huge in comparison to our age. And people ask you, how long you been doing this? Oh, almost 20 years because I've been doing it for so long. And it's like, when is that moment going to happen where, okay, that was, and we see it with the Inferno series, like, man, this is awesome. The lighting, the camera work, the editing, everything is there. And it's like, okay, like, let's get this, someone see this, please. Let's make this out. I don't know. Let's get this out there, I guess.
I feel like that's what helps us a lot, too, is we do a lot in the editing room, so we know what we're going to film to edit. You know what I mean? So we know what coverage we need, and so that helps.
Well, you guys are the complete package. That's really cool because that's how I made movies in Michigan because I didn't have anyone. I had to build it up myself because nobody knew how to do it, so we just did it. And then the film credit came. Everyone from Hollywood came and took all my crew because I was all my crew were the only ones that knew movies. So they took all my crew, and most of them are in Georgia now.
Yeah.
But a lot of them worked on Walking Dead and things like that, so it was cool.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, Georgia is big with Walking Dead.
Yeah, Walking Dead. Tyler Perry has his studio there also.
Yep.
So there's a lot of stuff shot there because they have a good tax credit too. So.
Yeah.
You know, remember Shorty? Jim, you remember Shorty?
I talked to her last year. Yeah, she was working on The Walking Dead.
her and her fiance, I think they've worked on The Walking Dead.
I don't know if she still is, but she was working on there for several years.
She'll come and do stuff for me sometimes for free because she says I got her started, but I don't know if she'll do that anymore.
She's got some skills.
But it's all right.
You guys.
It's all right. Just to say that I knew her win, right? That's what I'm going to say about you guys. I knew them win.
Hopefully.
Well, yeah, I think
you guys will go far if you keep moving forward like you are. It's good because you guys know this is it. When you think of it as like, oh, I have to get to here to do this. No, you guys are living it right now, doing it because it is going to happen. So just enjoy the ride because you guys are really good. It's gonna happen. And if someone that doesn't know you is already believing in you, you guys, it's good.
You guys have how many views? Like you guys, you have a couple 100,000 plus on the first one, don't
right?
you? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of you guys are getting some traction. So
yeah. Good.
I think the first one has 175.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
Pretty good.
The second one we're trying to get.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll put the links up and thank you so much for your time. This was great. Oh, do you have any other questions, Jim?
No, just I want to say like I'm looking forward to following you guys in what you do next, and I'm looking forward to the next installment of the series, and then I'm a fan now, so I think Tommy is as well. Because
can we bring you back on again? Also, we would love to just catch up with you every so often.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
Okay,
awesome.
Cool. And remember, right now, Motor City Nightmares is July 24th, 25th, 26th. So if you guys can make it, you can drive to there. So it would be cool. I'll give you guys a table. I said it live, so
we got a table.
All right. Thank you, guys.
I think now we're obligated.
Yeah, that's right, man.
I know, right? Take care, you guys. Thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll talk to you soon. Horror Vision 2020 out.